Okay, guys, I just want to welcome you to our team call, and I'm super excited to have Jaime Messina with us tonight. I met Jaime at the New Leader Conference in January in the Los Angeles area, and I just thought she was amazing because she's just a bundle of energy and she's so true to herself, and like she's not trying to be phony by any means, and I value that so highly. And I think the world of you, Jaime, and I'm just like so excited that you can talk to our coaches about, like the lack of confidence that so many of us struggle with and how you've gotten over that and what you've done to like get over those fears and really put yourself out there, because seriously, if you can rap at Summit, you can do freaking anything. So with that, I will give the floor to you, and you can bestow upon us your vast knowledge.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And I felt the same way about you. There's people you just connect with like automatically when you're at those type of events, and you were one of those people. So I remember you're just sitting like in my room. I don't even know how you got there. I don't even know if it was our room. I'm just going to talk to you. All right. So I made some slides for you guys. Now, here's the deal. When I do like calls like this, I'm just going to tell you guys a story, because it's a story that kind of, I don't know how, like last year I did a confidence presentation at our Dream Team event at Summit. And here's the deal. For me to do a presentation on confidence is like mind-blowing, because rewind 4 years ago when I first joined this Beachbody thing, my entire life, actually, I was not confident at all. I was actually probably the least, if somebody was asked to pick the least confident person out of a room, I am pretty sure that they would pick me. I was one of those people that did not want to be seen. I was like a wallflower. I just didn't want attention on me because I was not confident and I did not like myself. But I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Hold on, let me figure this out. Okay. Let me make it big. Now, Kim, can you see that?
Yeah, it looks good. Can everyone else see it? Do thumbs up. Beck, can you see it? Okay, cool.
Okay. So before Beachbody, let's just say that, I was tomboyish. And that's partly because that is just how I am always, but it was also partly because I really wasn't comfortable in my own body, and I like to hide behind big clothes. But one thing remained true always is that I have a love for hats and sneakers. That's just who I am. Okay, I love it. And so aside from the whole tomboy thing, though, I just really struggled with anxiety and depression my entire life. And I always had really low self-esteem, like I just said. I was even nicknamed Mute in middle school because I just never spoke. I just never wanted to speak. I legit maybe said one word throughout the entire day. And I was probably forced to by a teacher. I would always try to hide in the crowds or in the back of the room. I could get really deep on that part of my story because it really is a big part of everything. But like Kim said earlier, we just don't have enough time for all of that. So I wanted to get all the good stuff in. So basically all you needed to know about me before Beachbody was that I was not who I am today before I found this company. And so when I say I had anxiety, I mean like crippling anxiety. Like when I say I had low self-esteem, I mean I couldn't get my worst enemy to say meaner things about myself than I said about myself. I was my own worst enemy. But then I found Beachbody. So long story short with that, I joined so that I could lose weight. I wanted to look good to impress a girl, and also because I wanted to be the starting running back on my flag football team. And because I'm really small, I'm 5'1" and 3/4 on a good day, and so nobody. But I was playing flag football with a bunch of like D1 college athletes, and they just like wouldn't give me a shot. So I'm like, I need to get in shape and get ripped so I could play. But very quickly I learned that losing weight, the losing weight part really didn't matter at all compared to how I was feeling about myself. So I started, walking with my head up. and smiling and actually feeling good in my own skin. And other people began to notice that and wanted in on what I was doing. And this happened like within the first 2 months of me, going through a Beachbody program. I was in one of Melanie's first challenge groups. This was like a long time ago, before Melanie Mitro was Melanie Mitro. And I had this thing where I just didn't want to be the weakest one in the challenge group. I didn't want to be the weakest link. So I did my workout every day, mostly because of the accountability, because I didn't want to be the worst one in the group. Probably led back to my self-esteem issues. But so right away, though, I was inspiring other people just by how they could see me changing both physically and mentally. So I signed up as a coach with Melanie, and the next thing I knew, she like wanted me to post all these things and invite people to join me, and like I just was not ready for that. And as soon as somebody made one negative comment about what I was doing, I just completely pulled back. And so I wasn't one of those coaches who just came out the gate just running, because I couldn't deal. I didn't have the confidence yet to be able to have that tough skin. So when somebody said something, it really affected me, and it affected me as a coach and doing what I was doing. So I had never met Melanie in person, guys, or anyone on the team in person. And basically all I knew about them was their Facebook profiles. And this was before we had a really big team. So it was like a couple hundred people. And to me, they all looked really blonde, really straight, really religious, sorority girls. They had 2.5 kids, white picket fences, pretty nails. It's just like, I am just very different, especially then. Okay, we had a much smaller team then. So it was just very, I was very insecure. And let me just make one thing straight, or one thing known here. This was all me, okay? This was all me. This was my doing. Yes, they were period-wise these things, but I was creating this madness in my own head. And so who they were and who they presented themselves online to be, that really, I really didn't have much in common with them. And it scared the absolute crap out of me. I felt really segregated. Most of them lived in Pittsburgh, and I'm up here in Boston. I felt like I didn't fit in with the team, really. Like, I just didn't. I was like stick out like a sore thumb type of thing. And I honestly, I had thought about quitting a lot, because I just wasn't comfortable and I didn't feel like I fit in. I felt like an outcast. And, part of that was because I was still ashamed of who I was. Now, basically, sorry, I meant to switch my side. This was because at this time we were still really involved with the Bombshell dynasty, and I wasn't kidding when I said they were all blonde and really straight looking. Like, this is the Bombshell dynasty photo. So I honestly, I think these people are great. The Dream Team members are some of my closest and best friends. Melanie's one of my best friends in the world, but it just really wasn't, it's just not really what I fit into. But like I said, that was my own doing, and it's because I was ashamed of who I was. And I had something called euphobia. So euphobia, I was letting it hold me back in all aspects of my life. And euphobia is the ridiculous and absurd fear of being yourself. When you let others' opinion of you matter more than what you think of yourself, this fear will hinder your growth and greatly diminish your chance of finding happiness. Now, not only that, but like I said in the beginning, I was my own worst enemy. So I was creating things in my head that I don't even know if other people thought or not. I was just assuming they did because of my own opinion of myself already. So there's that. Then I heard about the 2014 Beachbody Success Club trip, and I wanted to go. Sean T was going to be there. I loved him, and I knew I needed to meet him. I was obsessed. I love this guy, and the idea of having to meet all those scary Beachbody coaches in person, that was outweighed by my love for Sean T. So I made it happen, and I went. I earned my trip onto this 2014 Beachbody Success Club trip. Now, I didn't even you get to bring a guest. I didn't have anyone close to me that was able to go with me. I had to bring somebody in my downline that I didn't know that well. Now, here's the deal. I don't know anybody. I feel like an outcast. I have major social anxiety, and I'm going to be stuck on a boat in the middle of the ocean with all these people that I don't know. I was shitting my pants, okay? I did not want to go. I was freaking out. I was petrified. I was petrified of being myself there. I just wasn't like them, and like not like them whatsoever. I was absolutely just freaking out. So we had this group chat going. I remember, and they're all talking about, what dress are you gonna wear? Oh, you're gonna wear a blue one on Tuesday, and this and that. And I'm like, I only have one dress. What do you mean a blue one? It's black. Like, what am I supposed to do? I don't want to wear a dress. Like, it just wasn't me, guys. So I'm like freaking out. It was giving me major anxiety about going. I'm like thinking, oh shit, I am not like these girls. But life has this interesting way of getting through to us sometimes, right? And so here's the deal. Oh, sorry. 2 days before I left to go on this cruise. Now, a friend of mine that I worked with at this place called Margarita, she was a bartender, I was a server. She was like we all hung out there, and she just seemed very social to me. We all hung out after a shift. She always seemed happy. She was friends with everybody. And 2 days before we go on this ship, I find out that she hung herself. And so I was shocked, and I was really sad about it. And this was somebody who, was one of those people that commented on my posts all the time. And whenever I saw her in person, she was always like, so how's the Beachbody thing going? Like, oh, you look like I can tell you're doing well. And just always asking about it. But here's the thing. I never once had mentioned my depression in any of those posts. At that time, I had completely thought that my transformation was about the 25 pounds that I lost. I never realized or made the connection between my depression and anxiety getting better and Beachbody and fitness. I never, something didn't click, okay? So I get on the ship, and I'm still really affected by the passing of my friend. And, I meet all these girls from our team on that first night, and my worst fear was true. I was an outcast. I stuck out like a sore thumb. I wasn't comfortable in what I was wearing, mostly probably because I was trying to find something blue to fit in, and it just, I just really didn't feel comfortable. And I'm sure they were like, what is wrong with that girl? But really, I was just socially awkward because I wasn't comfortable. It was just really awkward for me. And the rest of the trip, though, after that first night, we had like a thing, and then everybody went off and did their own thing, and I barely saw them for the rest of the trip, and I was alone for the rest of the trip, reading my personal development. And you know what? That was a really good thing, because it's what I needed. I needed to do a lot of soul searching, and being alone was a big part of that. So I ended up making a lot of friends on the trip, people that weren't part of our team, just a lot of people, because I was at breakfast alone, and I was all these things alone, because the girl that I ended up bringing didn't want to come to the workout. She didn't want to do anything. I'm like, screw that. I'm still going without you. So I ended up just meeting a lot of people. Now, the old me would never just talk to random people, but I did it because I was so excited to be on the ship with Shanti, and everyone was so positive, and it was just cool, looking up and talking to people. Now, I found my purpose on that ship. I came back a different person. And that's because a couple things happened. So the first thing that happened was we had this little inside cabin, this little room, and honestly, I spent 15 minutes in the room the entire time, but they had this channel on the TV. I don't know why it was even on. It was like Beachbody all the time. And it wasn't like infomercials, but it was interviews with coaches and stuff like that. So for the 15 minutes that I happened to be in my room, I saw this interview with Brigitte Linford. And she was telling her story, and she was speaking about how Beachbody helped her with her depression and anxiety and all that. And all of a sudden, it was like this little light bulb. It was like, ding. And I was like, holy hell, wait a second. I never even thought of that as part of my story. I was only focusing on weight. And then I thought, what if I had spoke more about that part? Like, maybe my friend would have seen it. Maybe she wouldn't have taken her own life that night. Like, what if I had happened to post something that night before she went and hung herself? Maybe that would have stopped her. And so right then and there, I decided that I would never hold back from posting the truth on Facebook and posting my journey, because it might save someone's life. Like, for real, save someone's life. It had saved my life. I can't sit there and say, oh, what if with my friend, but for the future, I wasn't going to stop myself from posting anything, because what if somebody, for all the people I annoy, what if one person decided not to take their own life because they found this opportunity? And that was enough for me. So the second thing that happened was each morning we would get this little newsletter under our door with the day's events, and there was always a trainer spotlight, right? Remember I told you I like Sean T? Well, one morning, Sean T was in the trainer spotlight in our little newsletter, and the entire time he sat there and he raved about his husband Scott openly in this newsletter. And I thought to myself, if Sean T, because a big thing was all the people from our team that I made up this big story in my head, blonde, straight, religious. I was scared of them. I thought religion, straight, sorority girl means they're going to hate me and I can't be open about who I am automatically in my head because of things that have happened to myself in the past. And but I sat there and I'm like, Sean T is the most popular trainer in our company. He has the best programs. If he can sit here in this newsletter and talk openly about his love for his husband, and if he can get out there and be so loved by all these people who I'm scared of, then what the hell? I can do it too, So I got home and I immediately, as soon as I got home, I started talking about my depression, anxiety, and overcoming that. I actually wrote a blog post about it the day I got back. And my blog posts normally got, maybe 20 views like the entire time. That one day I wrote about it. It was called How Health and Fitness Changed My Life. And that one day I got over 500 views, which was huge for me because it went from like 20 views total to 500 in one day. And I was like, whoa, okay, so I need to do more of this. As soon as I did it, I was getting messages from people thanking me for being so transparent and just saying how great it was to hear that and that they struggle with the same thing. And that started to make me feel better because I knew that I needed to keep doing it. And so I did. But still, I had never really spoke openly about being gay on Facebook, and I honestly was scared of losing customers because of it. So I still wasn't being myself. But here's the thing, guys. This whole confidence thing is a long road. It was a long road for me to get to where I am today. And the reason I'm up here telling you this is so that you don't have to take as long of a road as I did, and so that you can jump ahead in your business and do whatever, to avoid all the delays that I made because I delayed for way too long. So we come back from this cruise and I decided I am never missing another event ever again. And so the following month there was this retreat in Deep Creek, Maryland. And hold on, let me see. Okay, yeah, questions. Okay, so there's a retreat in Deep Creek, Maryland, and once again, I was scared shitless. I had to go to this house. I knew nobody. It was a house of the 30 women that I was scared of before. You know what I mean? I didn't know, like, where I was going to sleep. I was freaking out. And, like, oh, they're religious. That scares the crap out of me. And here's the thing, guys. I'm religious, too, so I don't even know why I was having these fears about them. But I was just assuming that they were going to hate me and hate what I'm about. So we go to this retreat, and I make some of my best friends there. The second night after we had some drinks, I decided to share with a couple of them a YouTube rap I had written about this place called Provincetown in Massachusetts. And it's a gay town, and it's a parody rap that I wrote about it. And I shared it to them, and I showed it to them. And, I realized quickly that while I was showing it to them, that it's going to blatantly show that I'm gay, and I had never said it out loud to them. And so they watched it, and I'm like sweating in the corner, like honestly, like sweating. And then I realized, they didn't care. They didn't care. They loved the rap. And a couple months later, there we were at Summit in Vegas, and I had made, more friends. And each time I made more friends with all these people, I realized that they just didn't care. They liked me for being myself. And the more that happened, the more I realized that they had my back, and the more open I became with my followers and my Facebook followers. So, then one day with a little pressure from Melanie, because like I said, I had never been open with my Facebook followers and stuff like that. Hold on, I gotta move that to the ground. So she gave me a little pressure to be more like transparent and real. So I crafted this post that absolutely changed the game for me. So I had never said outright on Facebook that I was gay. I mean, I feel like it was obvious, but I had never said it. So this was probably more for me than it was for them. But so in my post, I was calling for coaches, but I was also coming out in a way. And so here was my post. And I'll tell you right now, guys, this post blew up. I got more likes in this post than I had on any other post ever before. And this is what I wrote. So I'm not your typical beach buddy coach. I'm in my 30s. I don't have kids. I'm not married. I'm not a stay-at-home mom. I'm not a straight girl. I rarely wear sleeves. I make up rap songs. I spend way too much time with my cat, Layla. And at one point was shy as shit and had zero confidence. Oh, yeah, and I swear. Guess what? coaching still works for me. Not only that, but I'm unapologetically living my life the way I want and being myself. Sadly, that didn't become my reality until I became a coach. And then, so, I put that and I talked about a sneak peek. And, that post absolutely changed the game for me. It was just like, like people, I don't know, it brought my confidence to a new level because of the response that I got from being so straightforward. It brought my confidence to a new level. And so, the rest is history, kind of, in a way. I mean, a year later, I was up at Summit rapping on stage. I did a presentation with all of these ladies in their little dresses and me in my hat about confidence with the dream team. And it just kept going from there and rolling and coming into, what it's become today. And honestly, it's the best thing that really could have ever happened to me. So I just wanted to share with you guys a few things, quick things that I think is important as a coach, not being held back by these things that I used to be held back by. And I'm going to tell you what I kind of live by, like these rules that I live by now when I'm posting on social media and when, I'm putting myself out there as a coach. So number one is to be transparent. And I'm doing this through quotes. I'm telling you guys this through little, cliche quotes that I found online, but because it sticks and it resonates with me. So be as open as air, unrestricted, and rid of all insecurities, because transparency wins hearts. Now, it wasn't until I wrote that post and I started being my true self and not being afraid of who I was that people started to follow me and respect me. Before that, I was just, I was a beach body coach. People now, I can tell the difference. They have respect. And that's because I'm transparent and I'm real. And even if I'm having an issue or something, I'm pretty clear about that. I'm like, something's going on with me. I'm just very open about that. And people really do. Transparency wins hearts. So second, you got to be fearless, because once you become fearless, life becomes limitless. And I have this thing that I do with my team, and honestly, I did it with myself, where now I don't feel like I even really need to do it anymore, because it's being fearless is just part of my everyday life. But you save your big fearless things for Fridays. So I probably wrote that post that I shared with you on a Friday. Anything that scares the absolute shit out of me, I do on a Friday, and I blame it on Fearless Friday, and I hashtag Fearless Friday. Guys, once I stopped being scared of, what ifs and what are they going to think and this and that, like everything else just became so much better and clearer, and I can reach so many more people. So you got to be fearless. Honestly, your life will become limitless when you do that, especially with coaching. Can't be afraid of what people are going to say or think or do or whatever. You can't. You got to worry about you. Those people aren't paying you bills. You got to be true to you. So guess what? You're going to be judged no matter what. So be who you want to be, whether you're being yourself or you're changing yourself to fit, what you think people are going to like. Somebody's going to judge you. It doesn't matter. You could be absolutely perfect, 100% perfect, and somebody's going to judge you just because maybe they're even jealous. Doesn't matter what you do. You're always going to be judged. So you might as well be who you want to be and be true to yourself, because you're going to be judged regardless. So be true to you. And that's the truth. And so here's the last thing, guys. You are as ready as you need to be. You are never going to be ready. Nobody ever is like, okay, the weather's perfect now, I'm going to do this, I'm going to come out and I'm going to be the best coach ever. No, you're as ready as you need to be right in this moment, because learning and growing and putting yourself out there and failing and being fearless and all that shit is as ready as you need to be, because that is part of the growing and the learning of this process of being a coach and leading you on the right path to get to where you need to be in this business. And so that's what I have on that. I can answer any questions there, but I know that you guys also want to talk about Country Heat. So Kim, tell me what's up.
Oh my gosh. You inspired so many people, and not just in the chat bar. Jessica was getting Snapchats about how awesome you were. People that, yeah. So seriously, I love your story, and I want to encourage everybody to do Fearless Friday tomorrow, because it is Friday.
Oh, tomorrow.
And I love.
Oh, here's the thing. You guys have to do this. I do this on every call. I have the people's call do Fearless Friday, right? So big scary thing that you're like, I don't know if I should do it. Do it tomorrow and blame it on me. Say, hey, Jaime Messina challenged me to do this Fearless Friday, and then you tag Kim and I in it, and then hashtag Fearless Friday. blame it on me, but do it. And you guys can compete with all the other teams they have calls with, and we'll see who does the best Fearless Fridays. And I hope it's you guys.
I love that. You know what, Jamie, when you were saying, like, you didn't see yourself as the other coaches for all these reasons, and I've always said that. And then I realized the what you thought was like the typical coach, you could have been describing me.
Yes.
But I looked at these other coaches and I saw, oh, they're younger than me, you know, they're prettier than me, all these things. It's totally up there.
Yes,
so
me.
You know, even though you probably looked at someone like me and you're like, oh, well, yeah, they're a coach. I looked at people like, well, you're in your 30s, you could be a coach. So it's a total mental game, and we are all tricking ourselves into thinking we're not good enough. No matter who we are, we all play the same game. I'm sure Melanie Mitchell has gone through this game herself, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody deals with it. So no matter who you are.
Everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. Yes.
And you know, you have your struggles. We all have our own struggles. And that's what makes us universal and relatable in our own way. So it's the things that make, in our own mind, that make us not good enough, that really make us awesome. Don't you agree?
Yeah. It's your own self-talk, guys. Seriously, that's why I kept saying, you know, yes, they all have blonde hair and stuff, but it was me. I was making all that stuff up in my head. And now those girls are like my best friends in the world. I don't care. They don't care, you know, like it was me that was creating that wall. It was all in my own head.
It really is. And once you start to be vulnerable and let people in and start to see yourself as we're all just one big happy family, that's when it kind of becomes so yeah, I don't want to mind blown. Like, I loved everything you said, and I'm glad I have it on video so I can watch it back again. But yes, I want to talk a little bit about Country Heat because the launch is next week and we're all super excited about it. And you have such an amazing story about how all, you know, you've got your cousin angle and you've got the test group angle and all this stuff. So we want to hear your entire story, or as much as you have time to share with us.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay,
I'm hanging out with you guys
again then.
Yeah. Well, guys, I'm pumped about Country Heat. Here's the thing. I went into that program and I was really, really, really excited to be part of the test group, right? All coaches want to be part of a test group. So I didn't care what it was, but I was also very worried because I like I like to lift weights. I love hammer and chisel. I like being toned. You know, and that's, so I was worried that I was going to lose muscle and stuff like that. Now, and then I heard you can only do the Country Heat program during the test group and stuff like that. I'll tell you, my fears were not real. I got some serious results, probably the best results of any program, and that's because I followed the nutrition plan, which is the 21-day fixed plan, and I did the workout. It is fun. This is going to blow, it's completely going to change the fitness game because anyone can do it. My friend's 4-year-old was doing it with me through the entire thing. It kept her attention. It was fun. I woke up every day. Usually I don't work out till 5 p.m. I don't like working out in the morning, so I don't. But I did this in the morning because I wanted to start my day smiling and laughing because it was a good time. I didn't feel like I was working out, but at the end I was sweating my ass off. The moves were fun. I'm laughing. I'm doing my own thing to him. I was holding my core tight the whole time. And I was honestly blown away and really surprised by the results I got because I'm a small person already. And yeah, I had gained a few pounds before we started, but I didn't think that I was going to see any major changes. And I really wanted to because I wanted to show people, you know, that it was possible. But I liked the way that my core looked at the end of that program. Like it was, you know, my whole life, my family's like, abs don't run in our genes. We're Italian and it just doesn't work. And I'm like, oh yeah, we'll do Country Heat and see what happens because I had abs popping at the end of that. And it was awesome. Is there any questions that you have about it, like specifically?
Okay. Well, one thing, do you have the menu plan? When you do a test group, do they give you, maybe just talk a little bit about like the specific instructions you get? Because do you get the actual like program, or do you just get like downloads or the real meal plan, or is it all just kind of like a beta kind of thing?
I can show you actually. Not like show you, but it was like pieces of paper stapled together. I'm trying to find it. It was like a booklet like stapled together. They don't show you anything. So it was 2 CDs and like little just sleeves. And we put them in and it's like, you know, there's writing across it. So we can't do anything they don't want you to copyright or anything like that. And it was just like, something like a packet you'd get at school like this. So I just knew that it was like the 21-day fixed meal plan. And I'm like, I'm going to pick the foods at the top of the list because I want really good results. So, the top 3 foods on each color container is what I basically was going with. And and we just get the workout schedule and that's it.
Okay. Yeah. It looks like there's some questions coming out too. I mean, I think most of us have at least one or more of the sample workouts on Beachbody On Demand, so we kind of get the gist of it. I was really surprised too how much fun it was because I'm not a country music fan, and I loved, like, I don't know, I don't think you have to be a country music fan to like this workout at all. And yes, your abs were popping. I saw your before and after pictures. Good job, by the way. So here's another, just like off the top of my head, like, what are you doing now since the test group is over? Have you kept up with it? Or are you going to go back to a different program? I've been
doing hammer and chisel. Hammer and chisel is my go-to. I haven't yet been able to complete it because then anytime I get into a program, like I'm going away, or there's the cruise, and then I got picked for this. So every time I get a month into it, I can't finish the program. So I just really need to finish that one. There is a modifier, and she reminds me of Cat, like in the way where she really
was cat-like.
Yeah, like she. In the sense where they really are, anyone can do this. My mom has had 3 hip replacements. I know we only have 2 hips, but she's had 3, and she's going to do the program.
That's great. Yeah, and I hope to get my mom involved eventually. She's had a hip and now a knee, so she's maybe a couple months out, but I love how, like you said, your friend's 4-year-old was doing it. Like, anybody can do this, and I think it's great for moms who want to get their kids involved with fitness too.
Yeah, absolutely. The mom aspect, like, this is definitely, I mean, I know we can all technically do your workout at home with your kids, but your kids will do this one with you probably because it's fun. They're like, they want to dance too. And the moves are easy enough for them to be able to do it. And like Kim said, my cousin wrote a song for the program. I haven't even got to hear the song because it's on the bonus DVD. So she wrote a song for the program, and Autumn made a brand new country line dance to this song. So the song hasn't been released yet. I haven't heard it. She'll be performing it the first night of Summit, and so we'll see it then.
That is so cool. So maybe just explain a little bit how Autumn got hooked up with your cousin, because I think that's a really cool story too. You were just telling me that the other day. Because
yeah.
Each other, like, was it through you, like through an online, your coaching and all that? So that's really amazing, the power that Beachbody has to bring people together.
Oh, yeah. So I was telling my cousin about the 21-day fix. We had a family reunion up here in Massachusetts, and she was just asking me about it because she could tell there's something different with me. And I was telling her all about it. I'm like, you got to do it. I'm like, I'll come down and train you, this, that, the other thing. I didn't think she really would. So she goes back to Nashville, and I get a call a week later. She's like, I want to fly you down and let's do this 21-day fix thing and all this. So I did. I went on tour with her for a month. Nashville in August, pretty hot, and we did the 21-day fix while she's on the road and everything, and I documented the whole thing. And so while we're doing this, we would do the workouts every day on her front porch. Now, it is hot in Nashville in August, so we're like sweating, and she tweeted something. I'm like, you have to tweet Autumn, right? So she's like, said something like, I love this. I'm sure this Autumn lady's nice, but I want to punch her right now, or something crazy like that. And Autumn retweeted it and put it on Facebook and said, when your favorite country artist is doing your program, and like kind of like in a little fangirl type way. And so they started just chatting back and forth that way. And I don't know, Autumn reached out to her to do something for this. I guess Autumn's been a fan of Jody for a long time, and Jody definitely, she drinks Shakeology, she loves Beachbody, so
yeah, that's so cool. So did you get her to be a coach?
She was a coach, yeah. She was a coach under me for a while. She's not a coach anymore, so.
I imagine that's a tough double career.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, she didn't have the time for it, honestly, but who knows? Maybe she'll be back.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, so what's next for you, Jamie? Like, what are you looking forward to getting out of Summit? Now that we could just like take 5 more minutes and talk about Summit, because so many of us on the call will be there. And if we're not there, we're probably wishing we had signed up for it, because yeah, for sure. So I'm going to be doing the Country Heat certification.
Ooh.
I'll be thinking of you. So not that I'll be an expert by any means, because I feel like I have 2 left feet, but that's one of the reasons why I'm kind of pumped up for it and wanted to hear your personal story about it. And I hope that you and I get to connect and you get to meet some of my teammates.
Yeah, see each other. Sure.
Yeah, for sure. So
did you guys listen to the Surge last night? The Dynasty Surge at all?
That was awesome.
Okay, so that pumped me up for Summit. Miguel, listening to Miguel and all those people speak, Shay, it was really awesome, and it got me even more pumped for Summit. Last year for me was very hectic. Because I was doing that rap on stage. I didn't get to go to any of the trainings because I also had that present. There was just a lot going on. So I'm really excited to get there and to listen to these people speak, and just take it all in, and also just really network and make new friends and connections, because that's a big part of going forward in this business. Anytime I go to these things and I meet new people, like those are the people you talk to that, when you're going through every day and you're in that lull and like, yeah, I feel like my business isn't working. Like you talk to these people and you bring each other back up. So that's another thing that I'm excited about too.
Very true. And I've met so many of my, like, who I consider real friends, even though I usually only correspond with them online, people like you, people that are part of our larger extended family of Beachbody coaches. So excited to see them. And that was something that I feel was really lacking in my life before Beachbody, was just that community of like-minded people. Sure, I had friends, and I'm sure we all had friends before Beachbody, but for me, the level of friendship is just a little bit higher. And I'm not quite sure why that is, but maybe it's because it is such a lifestyle. It is such a personal investment with not just the fitness, but the personal development. And we are, like, if you're really putting yourself out there as a coach, you are making yourself vulnerable. And other coaches kind of respect and appreciate that, and I think that brings everyone a little bit closer. So
yeah, well, I'll tell you, my friends before Beachbody, all they cared about was going out and partying. And how many I remember feeling a lack, just not feeling satisfied because I could never have a deep conversation. Everything was so surface, and that just wasn't enough for me personally. And so now I never have that feeling when I meet people through Beachbody. I never have that feeling of like, okay, well, I need more out of this conversation. Maybe it's because we're like-minded or whatever it may be, but I know that these people want to hang out with me more than, playing flip cup or, who's good at beer pong, like, so.
Yeah. Well, that was awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Somebody asked a question about knees. I think you could do it with the knee replacement, because honestly, guys, it's all up to you, the level you put in. As long as you're moving, just don't do anything that's going to hurt you, your own body. Your bodies. But there's, the modifier doesn't do the jumping and stuff like that. So I really think you'd be able to do it.
Cool. Anyone else have anything that we want to talk about?
Can I have credit for Fearless Friday, because I actually posted a video of me doing the Country Heat, and it was awful. And people didn't even try to be nice. They were like, oh my God, I can picture myself, but worse. And I'm like,
I want to see it. Maybe you got to share it again tomorrow and tag me in it so I can see.
Yes.
It's pretty, I'm a Shanti person. I love the jumps and the whatever. And like the only move I could do in Country Heat was the hamstring curl one. I was like, okay, this is similar to what I'm used to. And the others were just, and I shot.
You know what? Some of the moves in there, I was like, whoa, this is actually a T25 move, but I didn't realize it because you named it something else and made me feel like I was dancing.
I went down in like capri leggings thinking, psh. And I was like, why didn't I wear shorts? I'm sweating. I had to turn my fan on. So I was actually really impressed with the cardio that I got out of it. So I would totally do it again. I'm going to buy it. I got to.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody should buy it.
Yeah. So I'm already trying to think Fearless Friday, what I'm going to do. Hope everyone else is trying to think.
I've written 2 pages of notes.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Oh yeah, Stacy wants to share.
I have to show you my shirt. I'm not trying to stick my boob out there, but
it's we did the rainbow run at Minnesota Pride.
I watched on Snapchat.
Yeah, we got a little
right. I watched you guys on Snapchat, right, Kim? You guys were wearing like.
We were the three fairies that ran the race with all our rainbow gear on, and we had an amazing time.
People were asking for pictures with us.
With us, right?
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Nice. Yes,
That
it was
awesome.
so much fun. Like one of my favorite days of the entire summer.
Absolutely.
That was the moment I said because Stacy said, "Do you want to?" And I'm not from here, and we move around a lot. So to your point, what you said about needing to make friends, that's really hard for me. I'm an extrovert. I need human interaction. And before this move, we would go like 6 or 7 months without really feeling connected with people. And Kim had me over for a party before we even closed on our house. And we'd only known each other like 3 weeks through beach party. So, but when Stacy said, "Hey, do you want to go to Pride and do this run?" I was like, "Yeah, okay." Yeah. I'm like, not even a thought. And that was the moment. Yeah, of course you do. That was the moment. My life is a bucket list. Yeah. I'm not going to write a bucket list. I'm just going to do bucket list things and then check them off.
That's a good motto. I like that.
Yes. I think that's what the three of us kind of have in common. We just love living life and being crazy and silly and meeting new people and having
swearing.
fun. And swearing. Yeah.
We got you on
good. I'm glad that because I was like,
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't want to take up any more of your time, and I will see you next week, girlfriend. So
yes, I can't wait.
Okay. Well, thanks.
All right. Well, thank you for having me, guys. Don't forget the Fearless Friday, okay? I want to see. I want you to tag me.
Everybody tag me, tag Jamie, whoever else is on the call that you want to tag. Okay.
Tag everybody. All right. I'm out.
Okay.
Bye.
Good night.